Hey, what's going on, AMC family? Sorry it took me a while. It took forever to get that information. I tried to make another video using a different platform too, and it sucked. I mean, I'm still gonna upload it, but it's a lot longer, and I don't know. I didn't like how it came out. Anyway, the information that I found, I'm not gonna go through all the little shit. If you want to hear how I found it, what exactly it all pertains, I mean, all the little tiny details, go ahead and watch the other video. I'm gonna label it short share volume, long video. But the short one, let's just get down to it. It came out to one. I mean, this is the bare minimum. I took literally the lowest number possible. So whatever number was possible, because there was limits to this information. It was only $5,000 or more per transaction, and it was only from one place, so on and so forth. If you want to watch that video, go ahead. But so it's very restrictive data, and with that very restrictive data, I took the very bare minimum possible number according to the restrictions, and that number still came out to, for one day, 1,167,212 shares shorted of AMC on 8/11 through one entity. Not New York Stock Exchange, not NASDAQ, not the dark pools, not off exchanges, and not illegal ones, and not hidden ones. These are reported ones through one little place. There wasn't any of those. And it was $5,000 or more per transaction. So I took the bottom 5,000 transaction, and there was 7,697 transactions that fit in that category. So I did that, multiplied it by the bare minimum 5,000 per, and then that number I divided it by way over the average for the day, which was average for 8/11. I think was around like $30 or something like that, or under. I averaged it at 33 per share, and that still came out to that number, 1,167,212. So I took a number that's not even close to what the real number is, because I was very nice about it, and it was that information that I went off of, that I took that generous number, was such a small drop in the bucket of the real information for that day. Such a tiny drop in the bucket, and it still came out to that. Just imagine what the real number is. The real numbers. It took an hour to load just that one bit of information. My computer's not that slow. That was a lot of fucking information. 'Cause that's a lot of shit. And that's a tiny little drop in the bucket. I mean, I tried to subscribe to get the real numbers instead of just going off of the lowest 5,000, the lowest, averages and everything. But it wasn't accepting my credit card for some reason. I mean, my debit card. There's money on it. It just was having a hard time. Coincidence? I don't know about that. Probably if it was a different stock, probably it would have went through. Because it probably have taken 2 seconds to load that information anyway. But anyway, yeah. Okay, so breaking it down, very restrictive data. Very restrictive data. I mean, tiny little drop in the bucket of the real data for that day. I mean, probably 0.1%, maybe. And very generous numbers. Absolute bare minimum number I could come up with off that data. And it still came out to 1,167,212 shares shorted for that day of AMC off that tiny little information. So, what's the real number? They're not doubling down. They're going to war. They said, fuck it, we're going to war. And that's why one of the biggest green days that I expected one of the biggest green days to be, which was 8/10, because the information that we got, the news that was out, the videos that were coming out on that day, I mean the day prior, were huge. I mean, we've never had such good news and good articles, and everything popped. The SEC chairman coming out saying, we know the dark pools are happening, we're going to look into it, boom, boom. First time that's happened. I mean, first time a lot of information came out. And then earnings report smashed it, killed it. Everything was positive. We beat everything. We beat earnings, we beat revenue, we beat everything. All the estimates. I mean, we kicked it out, we knocked it out of the park. Just like Adam Aaron said, AMC crushed it. And we did. And then we're up 10% in pre-market, and then up. Complete reversal? Complete fucking reversal, and we end up down 6%? And we're the ape community? I don't think so. That's not what happened. That was manipulated so fucking much. And I would love to see that share shorted volume for that day. Probably in the billions. To counter the buying of apes and people outside of apes coming into that. To flip it that, like, just like that. Yet, Clove up 20% over bullshit earnings. I mean, they beat a couple of things, but AMC beat everything. Everything. Clove beat 1 out of like 4 that I seen. The other estimates, they met or didn't meet. AMC beat everything. Everything. All the estimates. Positive in Q4 of this year. Come on, what the? Tell me that 810 was real. That yeah, that's what apes did. Apes only ran up 10% off of the best news we've ever had, and then sold like hell and took profits and dumped it in negatives. Fuck you. Short. Manipulation. Holy fuck. It gets me fucking. I want to see some motherfucker go to prison for this shit, because this is bad. This is like bad. I mean, this is fucking horrible. I mean, this is the worst thing I've ever fucking seen. Holy shit. I mean, come on. They're not even trying to hide it. So unless someone does something, then the fucking chairman of the SEC needs to go to prison too for negligence. Anyway, that's my fucking opinion about that. And I love you, ape community. This is the shit. And fuck these motherfuckers. We'll keep buying and stuff. We'll keep buying and holding until their billions are fucking stuck in shorts and they have no more money to even short. Fuck it. We'll take this shit all the way to the fucking ground with them motherfuckers. Because we'll last. Because we'll hold. Because we're pissed. There we go, baby. Solidify.